Hey, sixth graders, a couple lessons off last week with the IXL skills, but we're starting a new chapter. This is our 7th chapter, so it's lesson 1. The chapter is populations and communities, but lesson 1 is living things and the environment. So our My Planet Diary is a discovery called a love song. The great golden brown and Goodman's mouse lemurs are some of the world's smallest primates. These 3 lemurs look similar. Looking so similar makes it difficult for the lemurs to find members of their own kind or species during mating season. However, it seems that the lemurs can identify their own species by song. Scientists recorded the mating calls of the 3 species of lemurs. They discovered that the lemurs reacted more to the calls from their own species. This allows the lemurs to pick the right mate even at night. Important thing. 3 key questions. 1, what does an organism get from its environment? What are the 2 parts of an organism's habitat? And how is an ecosystem organized? So, organism is a living thing. An organism gets food, water, shelter, and other things and needs to live, grow, and reproduce from its environment. A habitat is an environment that provides the things a specific organism needs to live, grow, and reproduce. So an organism interacts with both the living and non-living parts of its habitat. We have biotic factors, which are a living or once living part of an organism's habitat, and abiotic factors, which are a non-living part of an organism's habitat. So let's look at factors in a prairie habitat, for example. So we have sunlight. Because sunlight is needed for plants to make their own food, is an important factor for most living things. Soil would be non-living. Soil consists of varying amounts of rock fragments, nutrients, air, water, and the decaying remains of living things, but it could contain living things. The soil in an area influences the kinds of plants and animals that can live and grow there. Then we have temperature. The temperatures that are typically in an area determine the type of organisms that can live there. Well, oxygen. Most living things require oxygen to carry out their life processes. Organisms on land obtain oxygen from air. Aquatic organisms obtain oxygen that is dissolved in the water around them. Water. All living things require water to carry out their life processes. Plants and algae need water along with sunlight and carbon dioxide to make their own food. Other living things depend on plants and algae for food. We have a species, which is a group of similar organisms that can mate with each other and produce offspring that can also mate and reproduce. Population is all the members of one species living in the same area. Community, all the different populations that live together in a particular area. Ecosystem is the community of organisms that live in a particular area, along with their non-living environment. The smallest level of organization is a single organism, which belongs to a population that includes other members of its species. The population belongs to a community of different species. The community and abiotic factors together form an ecosystem. So we have ecology, which is the study of how organisms interact with each other and their environment. So, for example, an organism would be a black-tailed prairie dog, so again, in the prairie area. A population would be a prairie dog town. Community would be all the living things that interact on the prairie, and an ecosystem is all the living and non-living things that interact on the prairie. So our vocab: organism, a living thing; habitat, an environment that provides the things a specific organism needs to live, grow, and reproduce; biotic factors, a living or once living part of an organism's habitat; abiotic factors, a non-living part of an organism's habitat; species, a group of similar organisms that can mate with each other and produce offspring that can also mate and reproduce; population, all the members of one species living in the same area; community, all the different populations that live together in a particular area. All right, we'll see if we can get through this here. Ecosystem is the community of organisms that live in a particular area along with their non-living environment. Ecology is the study of how organisms interact with each other and their environment. And your assignment is to complete the modal questions for lesson 1. There will definitely be vocab on there. There might be some questions about how we talked about the prairie dog environment. and other things like that. Please let me know if you have any questions and have a wonderful day.